Hello, second graders. Welcome to day 3 of our Cycle 3 opinion writing. Today, we are going to start off on page 23. We are doing day 3. You're going to need your writing journal, a regular pencil, and 2 colored pencils or pens, blue and green. We'll be using those today. So, we're going to be doing day 3, reasons. Our objective is I can identify reasons to support my opinion. This is where we start backing up why we chose what we chose. Anybody can have an opinion, but without giving them reasons why, it kind of just loses its weight. It doesn't have as much impact, if you would. So, of course, our overall topic is, who do you think second graders should learn about? Well, we started this last session, and we started with the original topic sentence of, we should learn about Ruby Bridges. Well, that's nice, and it's very to the point, but we want to sell the idea of who we want to learn on as being an important issue. To help us with that sell, with that convincing, we're going to need your stuffy today. Today, I'm bringing in Jedi Master Stitch, who's really wise, although a bit crazy. Ooh. To help us figure out what would be the really good reasons. If we can convince him, we can convince anybody. So, Jedi Master Stitch, this is what we've got so far. We decided that our topic sentence was nice, but we could make it a lot stronger. So last session, we decided that Ruby Bridges is an important child that the second graders should learn about. Well, that's what we call very vague. Yes, very vague. Why is she even important? Jedi Master Stitch, a good question. Originally, we started off with trying to figure out why and who our audience was. We know we're going to be talking to second graders, so we had to figure out our why. Two of the first things we came up with was she was very brave. Why was she brave? Well, she was brave because she dealt with situations that most young children should never have to deal with at a time when certain factors like your race caused problems, which is kind of hard or funny to say today because we go to a school where there's all kinds of people, but back then it was a huge difference. So she was very brave in the way that she dealt with the crowds, and she stepped up to the task at hand, even if she didn't completely understand it, and handled it, in a historic way. What do you mean historic? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's our second reason. She was part of changing history. How did she change history? How indeed? Well, she changed history by being the first African American child to attend an all-white school. Back then, that was gigantic. And it got to the point where she actually had to have armed escorts just to go to school because a lot of people didn't want her there, which is crazy to believe now. Oh, well, why is she that important, though, still? Well, that's a good question. Those are two great reasons. But there's something else that we learned through her ordeal. And that was, and I think this is very important, she proved you don't have to be an adult to change the world. And I think that's very, very important to understand. I'm an adult. Yeah, you kind of are, but you're kind of not. You're still Stitch. You're still kind of young. So, She learned that you don't have to be an adult to change the world, that anybody can change the world if they're willing to take up what they believe in. And what they believe in is a little different than an opinion. This is more like what you believe in between right and wrong. So she was very much one of those people. So we've got a few good reasons, and I'm gonna take 2 of those 3, and I want to add that to our reasons draft. Okay. So I'm looking at it, and I think the fact that she was very brave is huge. It takes a lot to be a brave person. It takes even more when you're a child who doesn't really have an idea of the scope of what your bravery does. So I think that is a very important reason. Let's go to page 26. We have another box to fill out. Reason number 2. Well, I don't know. Part of changing history, where you don't have to be an adult to change the world. I think her bravery has a lot more to do with not being an adult. So I'm going to go with she was part of changing history. History. Without what she did, you probably wouldn't have some of the friends you have today in school. True story. She helped redefine education and segregation in the South at a time where black people and white people really weren't allowed to really come together or mingle or anything. She was very much a pioneer, and that's why we know her name to this day. So, let's see what we've got, just so that we're completely clear. And this is where I'm going to pull out my pencils, because I'm going to use our green pencil to find our opinion. Then we use our blue pencil to underline our reasons, so we're very clear on what's what. So first off, Ruby Bridges is an important child that second graders should learn about. That's my opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, but I think it's right. So I'm going to underline that about Ruby Bridges. Child that second graders should learn about. So now that's going to be all taken care of. And then we want to go ahead and highlight our reasons in blue. Well, she was very brave. Reason number 1, very brave. And then we turn it over, page 26. Reason number 2, she was a part of changing history. Her importance comes from those moments of which she's still actively involved in. So, we're going to start really coming through with our reasons, because without those, most opinions don't hold a lot of weight. You want to make sure they're good. Really think them through. If you say, don't like a certain song, that's your opinion, you better have a good reason besides just, I don't like it. Not that you have to explain to anybody, but it's always nice. So, second graders, pull out that writing book, get to work. Let's take care of some of these details, and I will see you next time.